Welcome to True Crime Cases, in which we delve into the darkish and twisted tales, present-day real existence, crimes that shock, groups and go away, lasting scars. Cutting-edge episode. Today's unravels a mother discovers her 12-hour antique son's horrifying secret, leads to tragic homicide. Gianna, a 38-12 months antique enamel tin-gloved husband, David, 40-year-old software program engineer, and their son, 12 to 12 months antique Ryan, were regarded inside the network for his or her energetic involvement in local occasions and Ryan's academic fulfillment. Tandra, together with her warm smile and infectious chuckle, become always the first to volunteer for college capabilities or community gatherings. Her colleagues at a prominent Seattle-based tech company in demand. Her determination and creativity, teeth extra reserved but identical type, spent his free time training Ryan's Little League crew and tinkering with devices in their garage. Ryan, vibrant-eyed boy with a mop, latest brown hair, become recognized for his quick wit and passion for technology. At the surface, the Gianna appeared to be the proper modern-day, their colonial fashion domestic on, say, 26th Street, with its pristine white exterior and purple door, turned into present-day admired by using passers-by. Acquaintances could contemporarily see the modern-day taking night walks collectively, Ryan and animatedly discussing his trendy college challenge, whilst his dad and mom listened attentively. But below this veneer, today's suburban bliss, a darkness changed into growing, one that would soon shatter the peaceful facade, modern Bellew, and leave the community reeling in surprise and disbelief. The morning cutting edge, June 15, 2023, began like every other for Sandra. She woke up at 6:30 a.m., organized breakfast for the present day, and noticed David, modern to paintings Ryan typically eager to begin his day, become uncharacteristically sluggish to get geared up for faculty. Sandra observed darkish circles below his eyes and a slight tremor in his arms as he picked at his cereal. Worried, she asked if he become feeling all proper, to which Ryan mumbled a slightly audible, "I am high quality," for shuffling present day to grab his backpack. As Ryan left for college, Sandra could not shake the sensation that something changed into a miss. Her maternal instincts, honed over years, brand new, caring for her simplest infant, were on high alert. She decided to do business from home that day, telling herself it was to catch up on some reports. Deep down, she knew it became her worry for Ryan that saved her. Rooted to the house during the morning, Tandra located herself, distracted, the mind usually drifting to Ryan's uncommon conduct. She recalled how he had become latest withdrawn during the last few months, spending more time alone in his room and much less time along with his pals. At first, she and David had attributed it to standard pre-youngster moodiness, but now she wondered if there has been something extra severe at play. Not able to consciousness on her work, Sandra decided to tidy up Ryan's room, hoping the familiar act, contemporary motherly care, could ease her growing anxiety. As she straightened his desk and picked up scattered clothing, her eyes fell upon Ryan's PC, carelessly left open on his mattress. A nagging voice in her head informed her to appreciate her son's privateness, but her challenge overrode her hesitation. With trembling arms, Sandra opened the PC and commenced to discover its content. At the start, everything regarded ordinary faculty assignments, preferred games and social media accounts common for a boy his age. But as she delved deeper, Sandra's heart started to race. Hidden within a folder, innocuously classified homework, have been dozens. Present day, demanding photographs and motion pictures. Vra's palms flew to her mouth, stifling a puff. Today's horror content, she found, became beyond something she ought to have imagined. Photo depictions, present day violence, animal cruelty, and even what seemed to be real existence, crime scenes. Her thoughts read, unable to manner how her sweet, sensitive boy might be worried with such horrifying fabric. As she scrolled via the files, every more annoying than the final. Vra's surprise grew to become to nausea. She stumbled to the bathroom, slightly making it in time before emptying the contents. Contemporary, her belly gripping the bloodless porcelain. Modern day, the toilet she tried to make feel brand new. What she had seen. How long had Ryan been viewing this material? What impact become it having on him? And most terrifyingly, had he moved beyond viewing to performing out these violent fantasies? With shaking palms, Sandra splashed bloodless water on her face and stared at her mirrored image inside the mirror. The lady looking lower back at her regarded a stranger light huge-eyed with fear etched into every line, cutting-edge her face. She knew she needed to act to protect her son and get him help. However, the idea modern day confronting the reality, contemporary what she had determined, paralyzed her. As Sandra grappled together with her discovery, life in Bellu continued its non-violent rhythm. Friends walked their dogs, joggers made their way alongside tree-lined streets, and children played in nearby Robbinswood Park. Blissfully unaware of the darkness that had taken root in their community, Sandra spent the rest contemporary. The day in a haze, ultra-modern fear and indecision. She taken into consideration, calling tooth. Could not bring herself to voice her discovery over the telephone. She notion about contacting Ryan's college counselor, feared the repercussions if she changed into overreacting as the hours ticked by way of her. Tension grew, fed by way of worst-case eventualities playing out in her thoughts. Whilst Ryan back home from college, Sandra struggled to keep a facade, modern-day normally. She watched him carefully searching for signs, ultra-modern the boyish concept. She knew Ryan for his component, regarded oblivious to his mother's scrutiny, withdrawing to his room with barely a phrase that nighttime, because the circle stayed modern, sat all the way down to dinner. The tension was palpable. David, sensing the unease between his spouse and son, tried to lighten the mood with jokes and memories from his day. However, his efforts fell flat. Within the face, trendy Sandra's distracted responses and Ryan's sullen silence after dinner as Ryan disappeared once more into his room. Sandra finally confided in tooth and hushed tones. She stated her discovery, her voice breaking as she described the disturbing content she had determined and listened in taken aback silence. His face developing paler with every word. Together, they decided to confront Ryan tomorrow. They would method him with love and difficulty, imparting help and expert assist. Neither modern them slept that night time, each lost of their very own thoughts and fears for his or her son's destiny. The next morning, Saturday, June 17th, dawned vivid and clear. A stark evaluation to the dark cloud putting over the Gianna family. Sandra and David, blurry-eyed from their sleepless night, steeled themselves for the tough communication ahead. However, as the morning wore on, Ryan didn't emerge from his room. Knocks on his door went unanswered. A growing sense, brand new dread settled over Sandra as she used the spare key to unlock Ryan's door. The room was empty. Window open, a note lay on the meticulously made bed with trembling palms. Sandra opened up the paper and studied the words that could forever exchange their lives. "I am sorry. I cannot try this anymore. Do not attempt to discover me," panic stated. And immediately, Sandra and Teeth frantically searched the residence and yard, calling Ryan's call friends drawn by. The commotion joined within the search, cailing through close by Kelsey Creek Park and the encompassing streets as the hours passed with none signal. Modern-day Ryan, the Gianna, had been compelled to touch the Bellevue Police. Branch Detective Laura Chen, a seasoned investigator with the Missing Characters Unit, arrived at their domestic. Her calm demeanor, a stark evaluation to the chaos. Modern day, the quest effort. Detective Chen listened intently as Sandra David recounted the activities. Present day, the beyond 2 days, together with Sandra's annoying discovery on Ryan's computer. The detective's expression remained neutral, however her eyes betrayed flicker ultra-modern problem as she absorbed the information. As nighttime fell, the look for Ryan intensified. Present day scoured the area while volunteers distributed flyers with Ryan's picture for the duration of Bellevue and neighboring towns. Nearby information stations picked up the case, broadcasting Ryan's photo and information. Ultra-modern, his disappearance throughout the Seattle metropolitan location. Days changed into weeks and still there. Changed into no signal. Today's Ryan, the Gianna home, have become a hub modern hobby with brand new coming and going friends, neighbors bringing meals and offering support, and journalists camped out on the street, hoping for any updates at the case. Sandra and David's lives became a blur. Modern-day police interviews, searches, and sleepless night they took go away from their jobs, dedicating every waking moment finding their son. The strain started out to reveal Sandra lost weight, her once colorful persona dulled by using fear and lack latest sleep. Teeth, seeking to be robust for his spouse, retreated into himself, spending hours poring over maps, and online boards searching for any clue that could lead them to Ryan because the investigation stepped forward. Detective Chen and her crew delved deeper into Ryan's lifestyles. They interviewed his teachers, classmates, and the parents. Modern day. His buddy's picture started to emerge. Modern day, a boy who, no matter his outward success, had been suffering internally for a while. Ryan's instructors mentioned a recent decline in his grades and participation in Magnificent's latest. His classmates referred to that he had come to be trendy, remoted. Modern day, sitting alone at lunch and declining invites to social occasions. One friend, speaking confidentially to the police, revealed that Ryan had these days confided in him, approximately having dark mind, but had sworn him to secrecy. The virtual forensics team assigned to the case showed Sandra's worst fears. Annoying content on Ryan's laptop become big, dating back several months. In addition, they exposed proof. Cutting edge. Ryan's involvement in online forums committed to extreme and violent content. The implications had been chilling. No longer best had Ryan been consuming this fabric. However, he had additionally been actively engaging with others who shared these pursuits as the summer wore on. The case. Cutting edge. The lacking Bellevue boy captured countrywide interest. True crime podcasts dissected every detail. Modern day. Ryan's disappearance. Online sleuths combed through social media for clues, and armchair detectives offered their theories on what may have. Present day to the 12-hour vintage. The stress at the Gianna. Modern day became big. Sandra and Tooth's relationship, once rock solid, started out to show cracks. Under the strain, they argued. Cutting edge, each blaming themselves and modern day every other for no longer noticing Ryan's struggles. Sooner friends and modern day rallied around them, but the couple located themselves present day, remoted of their grief worry. Then, on a sweltering August afternoon, nearly 2 months after Ryan's disappearance, Yeruan Via got here from a surprising source, a hiker in the far-off areas. Cutting edge. The Cascade Mountains, about an hour east. Modern Bellevue, stumbled upon an abandoned campsite, some of the Dietrich's latest wrappers, and empty water bottles. He located a backpack containing a school identity card bearing Ryan's name. The discovery reignited the search efforts. Police and volunteer seek and rescue teams combed the dense wooded area, battling difficult terrain. In summer season warmth, helicopters circled overhead, their spotlights piercing the cover. Modern day trees searching for any signal. Present day. The lacking boy on the 1/3 day. Trendy. The renewed search as hope become beginning to fade all over again. A 9-unit picked up as fragrance following the dog's lead. Searches pushed deeper into the wooded area, subsequently coming upon a small clearing. What they found there could hang out them for years. To return, the clearing contained the stays, state-of-the-art, a makeshift shelter, tarp strung among timber, hearth pit, lengthy cold, and scattered non-public assets, and they're partially hidden beneath a pile. Modern-day leaves and forest particles lay a frame. The news hit Sandra and Tooth like a physical blow. They clung to every other, sobbing as Detective Chen gently informed them that remains believed to be Billy's had been discovered. The detective's voice, typically so composed, wavered as she promised to preserve them knowledgeable at some point of the identity procedure. Following days exceeded in a haze. Trendy grief and disbelief for the Gianna, the network today's Bellu, which had rallied around them for the duration of the search, now enveloped them in a blanket. Trendy aid and shared sorrow. Candlelight vigils were held. Memorials sprang up outside Ryan's school, and a fund became established in his call to assist teens. Intellectual fitness tasks. Because the shock, Trendy Ryan's demise started to subside, questions arose. How had a 12-wire vintage boy survived alone inside the barren region for so long? What had pushed him to such determined measures, and maximum pressingly become there extra to his dying than met the eye? The autopsy consequences, after they got here, only deepened the thriller, while exposure and malnourishment had contributed to Ryan's demise. The scientific examiner found proof present-day accidents inconsistent with surviving by myself inside the wooded area. Bruises in numerous stages. Latest Restoration Council repeated trauma over time. Maximum, alarmingly, there had been signs and symptoms. Modern day protective wounds on Ryan's arms and fingers. Those findings shifted the point of interest. Modern day, the research, what had started as a lacking individual's case, now have become a capacity Homicide Detective Chen and her group again to the start, re-examining every piece latest evidence with sparkling eyes. They delved deeper into the net boards Ryan had frequented, uncovering a community present-day folks that shared his fascination with violence and gore. Through painstaking virtual forensics work, they recognized several users who have been in frequent touch with Ryan in the weeks leading as much as his disappearance. One username in particular stood out: Darkish Hunter 22. This person had exchanged hundreds ultra-modern messages with Ryan, their conversations developing latest extreme and private, within the days earlier than Ryan went. Lacking Darkish Hunter 22 had cautioned meeting in character, describing an area that matched the vicinity in which Ryan's body became located as the police worked to discover Darkish Hunter 22's real identification. Xandra and David struggled to reconcile the son they thought they knew with the troubled boy discovered by the research. They pored over vintage images and videos, attempting to find signs and symptoms they might have overlooked, clues that might have alerted them to Ryan's internal turmoil of their grief. They also confronted the judgment modern others, even as many inside the community presented help. There have been whispers and accusatory glances. How ought to they now not have regarded? How could they have allowed their son to fall into this type of dark region? The weight, brand new guilt and public scrutiny threatened to weigh down them. Weeks surpassed as the research endured. Then on a crisp autumn morning, Detective Chen arrived on the Gianna domestic with information that could shatter their international all over again. They had diagnosed Dark Hunter 22, and it become someone Ryan, and by means of extension, Sandra and David had recognized well. James Larson, David's 45-12 months antique co-worker and brand new relatives, friend turned into taken into custody. James, a quiet, unassuming guy who had today's joined the Gianna for outside barbecues and holiday gatherings, changed into found out to be the character at the back of the Darkish Hunter 22 persona. A search today's James's domestic uncovered a trove cutting-edge proof linking him to Ryan's death, hidden cameras, specific materials related to minors, maximum damning, ultra-modern. All items belonging to Ryan have been found cautiously hidden away. It had become clean that James were grooming no longer just Ryan, but doubtlessly different younger victims as nicely. The revelation dispatched surprise waves through the network. How ought to the sort of monster have lived among them undetected for therefore long dad and mom held their youngsters closer, eyeing pals with newfound suspicion. They agree with that had as soon as described their quiet suburb changed into shattered for Sander and enamel. The information introduced a maelstrom. Present-day emotion remedy at subsequently knowing the fact warded with horror at what Ryan have to have endured grief for their lost son, mingled with rage at the person who betrayed their trust so absolutely, the know-how that they had unwittingly invited their son's abuser into their domestic tormented them. As the case against James Larson built, extra information emerged. Approximately Ryan's final days, it seemed that James had convinced Ryan to run away, promising journey. Understanding as a substitute, he had subjected the boy to not possible abuse before. In the end, taking his existence, the trial, when it got here, become a media sensation news. Vans clogged the streets, brand new Bellu newshounds jostling for roll outdoor the King County Courthouse internal. Sandra and Teeth sat stoically as prosecutors laid out the frightening information. State of the art. Ryan's ordeal. James Larson, for his part, showed no remorse. He sat impassively all through the complaints, his clean expression in no way wavering, while sufferer effect statements were examined and proof ultra-modern. His crimes became provided. After weeks' cutting-edge testimony, the jury took less than an afternoon to reach a verdict. James Larson changed into located guilty on all counts, which includes first-degree homicide, baby abuse, and possession, latest toddler pornography. The judge, her voice quivering with slightly contained anger, sentenced him to existence in jail without the possibility ultra-modern parole for many in Bellu. The belief, present day, the trial introduced a feel, modern-day closure. Justice it regarded have been served, but for Sandra and David Gianna, the quick modern, the felony complaints key at the beginning. State of the art. A long and painful journey. modern restoration. Within the months and years that observed, they labored to rebuild their lives at the same time as honoring Ryan's reminiscence. They hooked up the Ryan Gianna Foundation, devoted to teaching dad and mom and youngsters about online protection and the caution symptoms modern-day grooming abuse. Sandra became a vocal advocate for stricter net policies, harsher punishments, crimes towards youngsters. The Gianna home, once a symbol, trendy suburban perfection, stood empty for a long time. Sandra and David couldn't undergo to live there, surrounded by reminiscences present-day Ryan and the understanding trendy what had transpired under their roto days. Sooner or later, they sold the house and moved to a distinct contemporary Bellu present-day, a clean begin, at the same time as last near the network that had supported them via their darkest days. Quiet suburb, present-day Bellu would never be the equal. The case had shattered the phantasm, modern safety that many citizens had taken without any consideration. Dad and mom have become more vigilant. Faculties implemented stricter net safety protocols, and network watch programs sprang up in neighborhoods across the city because the years handed the case brand new. Ryan Gianna have become a cautionary tale, a tragic reminder, cutting edge, the hidden risks lurking in the virtual global. Through crime podcasts and documentaries continue to dissect the case, every retelling serving as a caution to parents and children alike. Sandra Teeth's dating examined to its limits, with the aid of the tragedy in the long run, survived via grief counseling. Shared willpower to Ryan's basis, they located a way to transport ahead. Collectively, they never had more kids. Feeling that no person may want to ever update Ryan, they poured their love and strength into assisting other households protect their on what might were Ryan's 18th birthday, 6 years after his death. Network trendy Bellu got here collectively for the outlet. Modern day, the Ryan Gianna Memorial Park. The park, constructed at the site modern, the Gianna's vintage domestic, featured a 49 A2D 564 F 1275 1C4 633 ABC 331,547 dB playground, a PC lab with monitored internet access for children, and a wall, modern-day remembrance for victims, state-of-the-art online predators. As Sandra cut the ribbon to officially open the park, she seemed out at the amassed crowd. She saw faces etched with unhappiness, but additionally, willpower parents held their children close, many carrying T-shirts with Ryan's smiling face. The words "Stay safe online" printed below. In her speech, Sandra mentioned the risks that youngsters face inside the virtual age, also ultra-modern wish. She urged dad and mom to be vigilant, speak brazenly with their youngsters about online safety, to in no way take a second with their loved ones without any consideration. Her voice broke as she concluded Ryan's lifestyles was cut. Tragically brief, however, through this park and our persevered efforts, his legacy will stay on. Let us honor him by making sure that no other baby falls victim to the dangers he faced. The impact latest Ryan's case reached far beyond Belly. Lawmakers at both the country and federal tiers pointed to the tragedy as they driven for stricter rules on internet systems, harsher consequences for online predators. The Ryan's regulation, handed 2 years after his demise, mandated complete net protection training in colleges and expanded funding for regulation enforcement gadgets committed to combating online crimes against children. Detective Laura Chen, profoundly affected by the case, have become a leading professional in crimes in opposition to kids in the virtual age. She traveled the country, speak me at meetings and schooling other law enforcement officials and the cutting-edge techniques for monitoring online predators. In her shows, she modern used Ryan's case as a stark instance of how fast and quietly a toddler may be groomed and victimized. James Larson, Ryan's killer, located no peace in prison, reviled with the aid of fellow inmates for the nature modern his crimes. He lived in steady worry and isolation. 5 years into his sentence, he became observed lifeless in his mobile and a determined suicide. The news introduced complex feelings for Sandra and David. Comfort that he could by no means harm every other child, but additionally, frustration that he had escaped a lifetime latest punishment for his crime. As era persisted to adapt, so did the challenges today's maintaining youngsters safe online. The Ryan Gianna basis work tirelessly to live in advance of these adjustments, growing new instructional applications, and partnering with tech organizations create more secure online environments for kids. 10 years after Ryan's death, Sandra published an ebook titled Under the Floor, A Mother's Fight for Online Safety. The memoir, uncooked and unflinching in its honesty, have become a pleasant vendor. It's applied no longer most effective, a deeply personal account. Ultra-modern, the Gianna latest tragedy. However, additionally, practical advice for parents now navigating the digital panorama with their children. The e-book's success catapulted Sandra into the national spotlight. She appeared on communicate shows, gave TED Talks, and turned into invited to speak at congressional hearings on internet safety. Through it all, she remained centered on her venture to prevent other families from experiencing the pain that had torn her global apart. Enamel grater, comfortable out of doors, the general public eye centered at the behind-scenes paintings. Today's the muse. He labored with software builders to create tracking equipment that dad and mom ought to use to hold song in their children's online sports without invading their privateness. These tools, supplied freed from fee through the Ryan Gianna basis, have been adopted by way of thousands and thousands brand new households throughout the United States of America because the years went by using the raw. Modern-day Ryan's loss steadily converted right into a bittersweet pain for Sandra. David. They discovered pleasure in the lives they'd helped to defend through their paintings. However, there's been usually a Ryan-formed hole of their hearts, but nothing could fill on the 15th anniversary. Modern Ryan's disappearance. The Gianna organized a nationwide day contemporary movement for online protection. Faculties across the U.S. held assemblies. Mother and father attended workshops, and social media structures promoted protection capabilities. Resources. The day concluded with a candlelight vigil in Ryan Gianna Memorial Park, attended by means of lots. Modern-day Bellevue citizens and supporters from across the country, as Sandra and David stood hand in hand watching the ocean. Today's flickering candles. Earlier than them, they felt a proto-day sound experience. Modern-day each sorrow and motive. The sector had modified dramatically within the years, in view that they misplaced Ryan in lots of methods for the better way to the notice raised by his case. Yet, the fight to shield youngsters in the ever-evolving virtual panorama changed into far from over. Sandra squeezed David's hand, drawing power from his presence as she had countless times over. The years together, they'd weathered the hurricane. Contemporary inconceivable loss emerged as beacons. Present-day desire and alternate, because the ultimate notes, cutting-edge, a track committed to Ryan diminished into the night. Sandra whispered a promise to her lost son. Promise to preserve their work, preserve fighting for the safety modern all children until her final breath. The legacy. Present day Ryan Gianna, a vivid, curious boy whose lifestyles changed into cut tragically brief, lived on in the remember lives touched by his case in Bellevue and beyond. Parents hugged their kids a touch tighter, requested extra questions on their online sports, and worked to create a safer digital world. And although the state-of-the-art loss by no means certainly diminished for Sandra and Teeth, they determined solace in knowing that Ryan's demise had sparked emotion that might guard generations. Today's children to come. As the crowd dispersed and the candles flickered out, Sandra and David walked slowly via the park that bore their call. They paused via the memorial wall, their palms tracing the engraved phrases in memory. Today's Ryan Gianna and all children lost to online dangers. May additionally their stories inspire us to create a more secure global for all. With heavy hearts but unwavering remedy, they grew to become modern-day home, geared up to stand whatever demanding situations tomorrow might bring. Of their ongoing mission to honor Ryan's reminiscence and defend the innocent. Thank you for joining us in this emotional and cold adventure into the tragic case, modern-day Sandra, David, and their beloved son Ryan. Right here at Actual Crime Cases, we attempt to discover the raw truths at the back of the headline, diving deep into the darkest corners, contemporary human behavior. Latest episode: Mom discovers her 12-hour vintage son's frightening secret results in grisly murder, is a somber reminder of how fast our lives can be upended by the not possible. We want to explicit our innermost gratitude to each brand new you for taking the time to look at this video. for enticing with the content, and for sharing your thoughts and emotions. Your guide and participation are what force us to continue exploring these complicated, modern-day heartbreaking cases. We keep in mind that memories like Billy's may be distinctly tough to pay attention, but it's via consciousness and knowledge that we will hope to save you such tragedies within the future. We mirror on this case. It is vital to understand that behind every authentic crime case lies actual humans, households, torn aside lives, all the time changed, Sandra and David's impossible ache and loss remind us cutting edge, the fragility, ultra-modern lifestyles, and the significance, latest vigilance within the face, modern-day developing threats in particular in the digital age. The net, whilst an effective tool for connection and brand new, can also be a dangerous place, especially for our youngsters. We hope this episode has now not best shed light on Ryan's tragic destiny, but also spark critical conversations about online protection, intellectual health, and the warning signs and symptoms that too latest past neglected. We need to increase a unique thank you to the ones who have supported us during this series. Your feedback, stocks, and subscriptions make it feasible for us to retain bringing these tales to mile. We understand that true crime may be a tough style to have interaction with, and we are deeply appreciative of the considerate and compassionate network that is fashioned round this channel. It is your hobby and knowledge, those complex cases, that motivates us to keep digging deeper to discover the truths that might in any other case stay hidden. As we finish modern-day episode, we need to remind contemporary brand new to attend to themselves, and each different the subjects we cover are modern-day heavy and may deliver up sturdy emotion. It is to sense beaten, to need a break, or to reach out for guide. We encourage you to speak approximately those tales with pals, today's or experts, if you need to process what you've got heard. Do not forget, it is via open speak and training that we can better guard ourselves and people we love. Searching beforehand, we've greater instances coded up that we accept as true with will each intrigue and pass. Our upcoming episodes will preserve to discover the depths present-day human behavior, analyzing now not best the crimes, but additionally the societal and psychological elements that make a contribution to these tragic activities. We hope you may maintain this journey with us as we delve into more testimonies that task allaying our know-how, latest morality, justice, and humanity. Before we go, we'd want to invite you to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. By way of subscribing, you will make certain which you never miss an episode. You'll be becoming a member of a community present day, like-minded, those who are obsessed with uncovering the truth. Additionally, if you determined cutting-edge episode impactful, please remember sharing it with others. The greater folks who are trendy, the dangers lurking in our communities, the greater we are able to paintings together prevent future tragedies. We additionally encourage you to engage with us within the comment phase. Let us recognize your mind on cutting-edge case, how it affected you, and what you trust. We are able to research from it. Your insights and discussions are beneficial to us and help create a space where we are able to all research and develop collectively. As we close this chapter, we want to go away you with an experience modern-day wish. Whilst the memories we proportion are modern-day, darkish, and hard, in addition, they spotlight the resilience modern-day, the human spirit. Even within the face cutting-edge, unattainable horror, there is usually the ability for recuperation, justice, and fantastic trade. We agree with that. By way of sharing these memories, we will make a contribution to a more secure, extra knowledgeable, international. Thank you once again for being latest, the True Crime Cases Network. We look ahead to bringing you greater, compelling content material inside the weeks to return. Until then, stay safe, live vigilant, and we will see you within the next episode.